Welcome to the Parenting Tips Podcast. I'm Jeff Reiland, the host of this series. Why is the sky blue? Why are airplanes so small up in the air but so big when they land? How do cars move? Why do some people live in blue houses and others live in white or brown houses? Why does it only snow in the winter? Why do mosquitoes bite? Why do fish swim in the water? Why do we have to eat vegetables? Why do people get angry and fight? In this episode, we're going to talk about curiosity and its importance in your child's life. The first series of questions may sound familiar to you if you have been around toddlers or preschool-age children. They seem to be incessantly curious about things. And while curiosity is the topic of this episode, it is closely related to the next episode about creativity. When I think of curious people, I sometimes think of inventors. Now, there are many kinds of creative people: musicians, dancers, artists, singers, and songwriters, actors. The list goes on. But one group that I immediately think of are inventors. And probably one of the greatest inventors of all time was Thomas Edison. He was born over a decade before the American Civil War, and he died in the early years of the Great Depression. During his lifetime, he had patents for over 1,000 inventions, things he created. Some of those things are still in use today, including the light bulb, the movie camera, and the phonograph. There are many fascinating facts about young Thomas Edison's life. He was mostly deaf, and he had very, very little formal education. Yet he overcame those obstacles to achieve some greatness for creating things still in use today. And while Thomas Edison was unquestionably curious and successful with the things he created, called inventions, he also had some nuggets of wisdom to share. Edison once said that our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to just try one more time. And to invent, you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. Curiosity is a desire to learn or know something, how it works, why things happen, in what ways they connect or relate, and where they go. Cognitive scientists believe that curiosity is innate. It's natural in all humans, just like the basic sensations of hunger and thirst. Curiosity is essential for survival. Curiosity sparks learning. Why is curiosity important? Well, curiosity is linked to better and higher academic achievement. Curiosity is associated with better problem-solving skills. Curiosity is identified with higher levels of happiness and enjoyment in life. Curiosity is just plain good for children and adults. And curious people become lifelong learners. As parents, we can develop a parenting approach that encourages curiosity. We can create an environment that offers ways for children to explore and learn. We can expose our children to places and situations that will inspire their natural curiosity to grow. Here's how we can do that. First, we can develop a parenting approach that encourages curiosity. This costs almost nothing. We accomplish this by modeling. What are you curious about? Have you ever wondered how things connect or how things are made? Share your own wonder with your child. For some parents, tired, exhausted, overwhelmed, this can be a heavy lift. However, it can also feel like a rebirth of your own childhood curiosity. Nurture it. Children respond well to parental enthusiasm and a sense of wonder about the world around them. Because we want our children to succeed, we sometimes pave the way for them, making it easier. Nurturing curiosity requires patience. When exploring or learning new skills, it can be frustrating. We want children to be challenged, but not overwhelmed. You know your child best. Find the Goldilocks spot, not too much and not too little of your presence or involvement as they take the lead in their own curiosity. Let them lead. We all learn through a mix of trial and error and figuring things out. There is sometimes failure before success is achieved. Remember the words of Thomas Edison at the beginning of this episode. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. When children are at that toddler age, they start to get into everything. It can be a real challenge trying to keep them safe. If you've been in this predicament, you may be familiar with phrases, no, and don't touch. Yes, it is important to keep children from harm, but it is also important for them to be able to explore. These two things are both true. Find ways and places in your house that your child can explore. It may be a cupboard or a closet that has been pre-screened. If your child is curious and headed for danger, connect with them and then redirect them using distraction discussed in episode 35 to some space or activity that will keep them occupied and keep you from getting gray hair from worry. If you have lived through toddler and preschool years, you have heard the question, why, in some form more times than you can count. This is really a great question from children. Sometimes the answer is complicated. One excellent response is to turn the tables on your child and ask them, why do you think? This shows that you value their thoughts and ideas. Your child genuinely may not know the answer, and you may not know either. That's okay. If you have ever been asked a question by your child and you don't know the answer, no worries. Parents can't know everything. Consider developing a great question book where you write down your child's questions so you can remember them and to help them find the answer. By writing the question down, you honor your child's question instead of dismissing it. You buy some time to problem solve how best to find the answer, and it helps you keep track of the questions for posterity. Imagine sharing that book with your future grandchildren. We discussed the idea of the Great Question Book in more detail in episode 30 of the Parenting Tips podcast. There are a number of ways to get children thinking about something that they're curious about. Asking open-ended questions helps your child to develop expressive problem-solving and social-emotional skills. It also encourages their curiosity. Here are some examples of open-ended questions. Tell me about your day in school today. How do you think these two things are related? What do you think will happen next? And how do you think it works? And what do you think this story is about? Notice that these are not questions that could be answered with a yes or no answer. If your child gives you a short answer, you can ask a follow-up question like, tell me more about that. In addition to shifting our own parenting approach by showing curiosity, we can also create an environment that offers ways for children to explore their world. When kids are curious, they want to explore. Toys that can only do one thing or fit together in one way can stifle creativity and curiosity. Find toys and materials that children can find many ways to explore. For example, when outside, use of a water table or a sandbox can allow children to play and explore endlessly. Kinetic sand or Play-Doh at the kitchen table can also achieve this. Select building toys that can be disassembled and reassembled in different ways. There are many good building toys that can achieve this, including simple blocks, Legos, Lincoln Logs, and magnetics. These and more can help children expand their curiosity through play. We can expose our children to places and situations that will allow their natural curiosity to grow. There are many places to take children that can enhance their curiosity. The public library is a prime starting point. Here, children can explore books and participate in programs that will inspire their interest in learning. Parks, hiking trails, demonstration farms, forests, nature centers, and nature preserves are also great places for children to get outside and experience a different world of plants and animals they may only read about or see in a video program. Watch for child-friendly programs at your local library or nature center. One crucial element that is sometimes overlooked when we think about how to nurture curiosity is time. So much of our days are regimented. Time is limited. One way to ensure curiosity grows in your child is to allow unstructured, open-ended time for your child to explore. Of course, there are important schedules and routines to maintain, but on a warm day, if your child is completely taken in by the excitement of playing in the sand at a beach, and you have the time, try to be flexible to allow that curiosity to continue. Encourage the collection of small items they're curious about. You may notice that your child likes to collect things that at first glance may seem to have no value to you. They're junk. Your child's collection could be shiny pebbles, stones, pieces of bark, seashells, seeds, leaves, pine cones, wrappers, string, nuts and bolts, or buttons. You name it, kids like to collect things. While it's okay to set some limits on the amount and storage, it's also important to foster their interest in these objects and to learn more about what they are and what they can do with them. Encourage gifts of experience over more toys. One valuable gift that you or relatives can give your child during holidays or birthdays is a gift of time exploring something new. A trip to the museum, wildlife refuge, zoo, beach, camping, or other exciting place may be worth more in memorable moments than any toy that they will outgrow in a short time. To summarize, all children are born with some level of curiosity. It is an innate part of being human. We can nurture that curiosity and encourage our children to be excited about learning in so many different ways. Allow your own curious inner child to come out. Let your child lead, connect, then redirect instead of saying no and don't touch. Ask, why do you think, before answering their why question. Create a great question book when you don't have the answer. Ask open-ended questions to expand conversation. Create and maintain an interesting environment. Explore new places and situations. Allow time to explore. Encourage the collection of small items, and encourage gifts of experience over more toys. Take some time to give yourself credit for some of these things that you are already doing. Take note if there are ideas you might want to consider. Being a part of your child's journey and learning by using their natural curiosity is tremendously rewarding and fun. Thank you for tuning in and considering this parenting topic. I hope that this information added to your growing toolbox for parenting your child or children. Please consider exploring other topics in this series. Remember, no one parenting tool can do everything. We need many tools to become the best parents for our children. Your children's future depends on you and the time and effort you invest in them today.